Ladies and gentlemen, what's up, BC? Welcome back to another episode of Supreme Being. As I titled this, who's in your corner? Right? I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to break it down in a couple ways for you, right? First is this. We have what cards were dealt to us, and then we have what we seek and what we acquire. Case in point. In reference to who's in your corner, right? And this is like in the perspective of to help you, to check you, to facilitate your growth and expansion in your life in every area, right? We could specifically say business, finances, relationships, or whatever, but we're speaking in general here, right? Again, what was given, what we seek, what we acquire, okay? What was given to you? That could be a cousin, a parent, or parents, who help you tremendously. Somebody who just is a friend of the family, right? Basically, something that you didn't have to go out and acquire, either hunt for, pay for, right? Or something like that, okay? That's just what cards were dealt to us. Some of us had maybe a rich uncle who helped us and taught us about money and finances. Some of us maybe had, super disciplined parents who were very, very well off financially, who taught you the tricks of the trade and who could hook you up and give you a loan in the beginning when you started your business. I don't know, right? All those are examples of things that are potentially given to you. You didn't have to go out of your way, right? That, my friend, homie, right, is a blessing if you have that. That's something you can look at and say, okay, I got lucky, right? I got the luck of the draw on this one. Now, that is rare in today's world, meaning most people, especially if you're listening to me, you're hungry, you're an up-and-coming entrepreneur, you don't have that. 99 out of 100 are probably not going to have that, right? And even if they did, they probably didn't take advantage of it, okay? I want to focus on the other one. What do you seek and acquire? Meaning, what have you gone out there and said, I want you to help me, right? Like some of you who have joined my coaching or said, hey, BC, I really, I want your help. Turn me into a beast, right? I want to focus on that because that's what's missing for you. You guys have no idea. Whatever you want, better lifestyle, six-pack abs, lots of money, booming real estate career. You have no idea how much going out and seeking that individual or organization or whoever it is and saying, help me, right? Even if you have to pay or whatever you have to do in order to acquire them to be in your corner and be a coach, a mentor, a helper, a big brother, whatever it is, right? You have no idea how much that's going to help. You really don't. And I think many people, for many reasons, and we'll cover that today, either refuse to see the bonus in that or think it's like, well, that's a bonus. Like, I don't really need it. No, you need it. You need it. You absolutely need it. Because this whole self-made thing is bullshit. Everybody got help. Even if you built your business on your own, we can say you still had to acquire customers. Without the customers, you get nowhere. So you didn't do it on your own, right? When I look at that from the beginning, I have an advantage of understanding that because I've been an athlete, a professional athlete, and I played basketball for before I stopped 15, 16 years. Started playing when I was 10 or 11, stopped because of injuries at 24, 25. That's a good 15 years there, right? I sought out the best coaches and help, nutritionists, right? Shooting coach, conditioning coaches, like all that stuff. I remember back in 2004, I got a hold of, this is 2004, y'all, a book that Tim Grover wrote. And he became popular with that book, Relentless, like in 2017. So 12 or 13 years before that, I paid like $150 to get a hold of a book that he created with some of the workouts that he did with Michael Jordan in order to take his already natural athleticism to a different stratosphere. And I got that book and applied the knowledge over a summer. And man, I went from being already fast and dunking, not being that tall at the time. I was probably 6 foot. I could dunk. But after that summer, I was fucking hammering, right? And I was probably a step or two quicker. That elevated my game tremendously. I had to seek that. And back then, right, that was a lot of money for me. But I scoured magazines and all this stuff to acquire that book, right? Everywhere I looked, I couldn't find it. Oh, it's not really for sale anymore. But I did whatever I had to do. I remember it took me weeks to get a copy of that shit. And now you can probably find it on the internet, right? Jump Attack, I think is what it was called. Jump Attack, for those of you who might be interested in plyometrics and taking your athletics to another level. I had to, figure out ways and get summer jobs to pay other coaches to help me with my shooting, right? My mid-range, which was lacking when I was developing in basketball. I had a great 3-point. I could get to the rim. I was more of an attacker, a slasher, and finisher. But my mid-range wasn't that good. And when you step up from high school to college and the defenses are a lot more team-oriented, you can't just pass your guy and get to the rim like you can in high school, right? It's a little different, right? Everybody's already elite when you get to that level. So when I start playing in college, I need that mid-range because now that person has 2 or 3 people helping them on the weak side. So again, I have a history of doing this. I wanted to be the fucking best basketball player. So I sought out the best people, the best knowledge to help me, period. And I would stop at nothing to do it. So I think a lot of people will talk a big game. And maybe that's the first mistake is what they really want. It's all talk, right? So make sure that what you claim you want and what you're thinking to yourself and saying is true. Because if you're saying you want well above average, top 10%, whatever it is, dude, you're going to need people like me in your corner for sure. Okay. But you're also not paying attention to certain things. A lot of times when you need the answer to something, it's already too late. Okay. Now, let's say you're put in a high pressure situation. Not having somebody like me in your corner can cost you that deal, that opportunity, or whatever. Now, does that mean you lose the game? Not necessarily, but that sets you back. And sometimes these setbacks weigh on you more than anything emotionally. And all of you who have been on this quest, whether for weight loss or entrepreneurship or whatever it is, some of those fucking setbacks hit you heavy, dude. And you're like, fuck, man. Those are the ones that potentially get you to quit or even start considering quitting. And that shit is horrible on you emotionally. And in many cases, if you had me or somebody in your corner, that blow that was dealt to you would have been lessened at the very least. If not, would have been avoided because you would have been prepared for a moment. Or you would have been prepared with how to deal with that moment because you would have already known how it was going to happen and what you had to do to respond. Because we would have showed you and said, hey, we've been down this path before. This is exactly what's going to happen. And this is exactly what you need to do in detail. Right? Or having that shoulder to lean on and saying, oh man, this just happened. Great. This is what you need to do. Okay. It happened. Whatever. Let's do this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Do this. Then take this next step and then set this up. Right. And within, minutes, you can bounce back. You see, that's more of an emotional kind of thing. Right. And again, how do we take something that's emotional, right? These are the things that sometimes I tell people, you can't explain this until somebody goes through it, right? For them to have a reference of what it is. Everybody's always searching for, oh, what is this? And what does it offer? And is it on paper? And that's all fun and good. But there's so many other intangibles and X factors and things that you can't put on paper or that we can't conceptually explain to you. But when the moment arrives, we can say, this is that moment we were talking to you about. How does it feel? And when it's a good one, you're like, oh man, it fucking feels amazing. But when it's a shitty one, what are we telling you? I fucking told you so, bro. And you set yourself up. So you deserve this moment. Bask in that shit. I know it hurts. I want you to feel that hurt because you deserve this. You put yourself in this position. Now, for those of us who are entrepreneurs, again, whether it was by a mistake or you having to work hard, you're going to have to go through rough moments. But going through rough moments alone are difficult. Some of you listening and some of the people who are out there aren't built to handle opposition and haters and criticism and some of those temporary challenges and failures. They're not built to handle it alone. A lot of people, most people aren't, right? It only takes a few setbacks and they start taking their foot off the gas and eventually they quit. I mean, you look at the industry that I came up in, real estate, the failure rate is over 90%. So the odds are stacked against you. So it would behoove you to get help. Extra help, if anything. Again, assuming you want to do very well, which most people do. If you're out there searching on how to do well and make more money and, hey, I want to break 6 figures, understand that already puts you in the top percentage, man. Most people are not making 6 figures in entrepreneurship and real estate. They're struggling. And if they are making 6 figures, they're spending 6 figures to make 6 figures, right? Or their overhead is so high, they're not even really profiting. Shit, I know people in real estate who make over $1 million in commissions and they only walk away with like 100K or 150K. That's pretty fucking shitty, right? Your profit margins are shit. but you need help. And those are the people that, oh no, I got it figured out because I'm making over $1 million. No, bro, you don't have it figured out because you have a 6-figure salary and you're making over $1 million. That doesn't make any sense. Get some help, dude. So who's in your corner? I've always taken pride in having the best people in my corner and giving them shine. Go back on my YouTube, even though it's censored now, and find all the interviews. There's very few, but there's some interviews of very good friends of mine who are great in their field, right? I think of like Pablo, Yogi Chris, Arash, people who I still am friends with and support. Even if I can't attend their events because it conflicts with my schedule, I still support their stuff. And they're very good at what they do. And I interviewed them to show my gratitude for our friendship or because they mentored me or at whatever capacity that it is. But I always had them in my corner to help. And I will continue to do so. And I have no shame in doing that. And I never expected anything from them for free. Oh, yeah, man, hook it up. No, dude. If you're my friend or I really like you and support you, I'm going to talk about you and promote you and even pay you extra. Even if I can't attend the event, I'm going to sign up and pay you for the event just to support you, bro. Like, that's the type of friendship and relationship I have with friends and mentors and that kind of stuff, man. I'm always giving back extra and, oh man, thank you so much. And oh, I need help. Like, and that's another thing is people won't put their fucking ego to the side and say, yeah, I need help. I still need help, right? I want to scale my shit to 8 figures and 9 figures. Of course I need help. But even to get to 6 figures, I needed help. For people that don't know, I got a real estate coach, which was originally Mike Ferry, before I got fucking licensed, dude. And I didn't have the money, but I didn't use that as an excuse. I figured it out. Straight up. Same thing in basketball, same thing in fucking calisthenics. I've been doing calisthenics for over a year now. Since my first workout, I've had a coach, right? I'm going to interview him here for the podcast. He's worked with Chris Heria and some of those other fitness guys who I didn't really know until I got into this world, right? From fucking day one. But I want to be good. I want to be great. I don't want to just be an average fucking practitioner in everything I do. I want to be the fucking best, dude. And if you want to make a lot of money, if you want to, be fulfilled, like, you have to push to that limit. And that requires something extra. You're not going to do it just fucking lackadaisically showing up and doing stuff. So there has to be this intensity. But I'm going to go back to what I said. Some of you need to put your ego to the side and fork out the money and the time and the consistency and the discipline and the effort and the commitment to get what it is that you want, right? We want to act like, oh, I don't need help. And I see this a lot with men and women in the dating world. Oh, well, you don't need somebody to tell. Bro, what do you mean? Like, they'll say, be yourself. Motherfucker, you haven't gotten laid in 10 years. You haven't had a girlfriend since fucking middle school. And you want to say, be yourself? You can't do shit. But, oh, no, I'm too cool. I don't need help. Dude, you need help. Most people need help because this shit isn't taught. Let's take that off the table. If you learn to do that, your ability to do well and everything will skyrocket because you won't get in your own way. It's ego, dude. Oh, I don't want to look like I need help. Everybody needs help, bro. Even me. I'm studying and getting help and paying for a bunch of shit. Still. Right? Everything. Again, the calisthenics thing that I'm doing, from day one, I got somebody to help me. And not having money or whatever was never, no, it's like, I want to be the best, dude. I know this is because that's the blueprint, y'all. People try to go around it. No, that's the blueprint. That's what you need to do. But more importantly, what I named this podcast, I want those people in my corner because when I'm in my lowest point, they're there. When I'm in my highest point, they're there. Everything in between, they're there. They're watching my every move. I have somebody to talk to and ping pong stuff off constantly. We can talk. We're in communication. They're in proximity with me. All the stuff that you need, they're there. And that's what I want. That's what I love. Now, you need to see the importance in that. If you don't, you will never be more than above average. And that's just the truth. And people still, like, they won't step up. They'll get in their own way. They'll say, yeah, I want it. And then it's like, okay, here you go. Oh, well, and then they'll talk themselves out of it. It's like, dude, you got to be kidding me. But another thing that I tell people tied to this is you shy away from it because you know what it's going to require of you. Many of you will not get me as a coach or get closer to my stuff because you know I'm going to demand that version of you that you're not willing to give yet, probably. You don't want to step up. You don't want to be held accountable. You don't want to step the fuck up. You don't want to give up those old friendships or those bad habits or whatever it is. You don't want to do it yet. And that's okay. But then if that's the case, admit it. Don't say other shit to make yourself sound cool or justify it to yourself. Admit the truth. Start with that. Let's first be honest and transparent. If you're not willing to step up, great. Again, whether it's me or anybody else or any organization that you know you need to be a part of. I don't give a shit who it is. Admit the truth that you're not willing to give that much of yourself, or that you don't believe in yourself, right? That you don't want to commit. That's fine, because you don't want to wake up early and work hard. That's fine, but admit it and call it for what it is, and admit it to the world. Go on your Facebook and Instagram and say, I don't want to work hard. Don't say, oh, it's impossible and you can't do it and it's because where I grew up and I don't have any money. Don't say that bullshit. Admit the truth. Admit the truth, right? It's like they say, the truth shall set you free. I had no problem in the beginning, and even now, saying, I don't know everything. That's fine, but I'm not going to let it stop me from getting to where it is that I want to go. Who knows what I want to know that can teach me? You? Okay, here you go. What do you need? Time, effort, commitment, loyalty, money? Here you go. Teach me. Let's go. Okay, go out there and knock fucking 1,000,000 doors. Okay, right? I'm just going to follow your blueprint because I know it works. And that's it. It's really that simple. But who's in your corner? Because at the end of the day, especially when times get rough, we will be your saving grace, because we've been there. We've been in much worse moments and circumstances than you. So we can provide you a level of relatability and depth and information and help and guidance that other people, or more importantly, when you're in those situations alone, that you yourself will not be able to get or give. Why dig yourself a deeper hole? Get the help that you need in whatever it is. Shit, this could even be passed over to like people who are having like, mental problems and issues, which is totally normal, right? Get help. Oh no, I'm going to figure it out. What do you mean? Take it serious. Get some help, dude. Right? Like you don't belittle yourself, or you're not less of a man by saying you need help. We all need help, man. I'm getting help all the time. I'm helping people all the time. It's normal. It doesn't make you any less. Okay? Cool. Wrap it up here. Who's in your corner? Make sure you find the right people, because that's going to determine a lot for you. All right? See you guys.